to Nova Scotia and the violence over the lobster catch. Indigenous fishers are pushing ahead with their self-regulated lobster fishery and threaten legal action against those who stand in the way. At the heart of the issue are the rights of Indigenous lobster harvesters to fish outside the commercial season, rights protected by the Marshall decision, a Supreme Court of Canada ruling. Indigenous leaders are demanding the federal government enforce the law. Here's what the Indigenous Services Minister said today.
These unacceptable acts of violence, including the assault of Chief Sack, threats and intimidation, some racist in nature, cannot and will not fetter the right of the Mi'kmaq people to pursue a moderate livelihood as affirmed close to 25 years ago in the Marshall decision.
But talk is not leading to any resolution on the docks in Nova Scotia, as Ross Lord reports.
Indigenous fishers guard a driveway to a lobster holding pound as police screen nearby traffic to rule out potential troublemakers. Bitterness simmers from Tuesday night when an angry group of commercial fishers threatened an Indigenous harvester, attacking property and removing his lobsters in full view of the RCMP.
Look at them!
I know.
What do you mean you know?
The chief of the Sipekne'katik First Nation suggests his members are going alone.
Very concerned for all of our people. You know, the safety, and it's come to the point where it's a matter of, do our lives matter?
Chief Sack himself had a physical altercation with another man. Sack says he'll pursue assault charges and possibly legal action against organizations assigned to protect his people from what he calls racist violence.
The RCMP, they're useless.
He sent a letter to the Prime Minister urging him to ensure the safety of Indigenous fishers. The RCMP defends its handling of the violent protests.
Our goal is for everyone to go home that night. And in this case, we feel we were fortunate in the case that everybody did. There was no injuries involved in either of these here incidents.
Nova Scotia Premier Stephen McNeil says he's disappointed the federal government has failed to defuse tensions. The government has held a series of meetings, some with First Nations leaders, others with commercial harvesters, even though the Fisheries Minister has kept a low profile.
Yesterday's actions, unfortunately, they're uncalled for and extremely disappointing and disgusting, for lack of a better word. And unfortunately, those actions could be stalling the negotiations that we were making very good progress on.
The Indigenous Services Minister, while acknowledging systemic racism in policing, is clear about what's at stake.
The risk, if we don't get this right, is that people will die. And I think everyone should be clear about what that means, because violence begets violence.
Untangling tensions has been just as confounding as it was when the Supreme Court upheld Indigenous fishing rights more than 20 years ago. Ross Lord, Global News, Halifax.